Welcome to another episode of the Brown Bostonian Show. I'm your host, Kevin Parrington Turner. We back. It is nighttime, 9 p.m. Got a new mic. I did it early in the day. Didn't know how to work the mic. It was muted. So we back. We back here. And I'm excited because there's been a lot of good sports. There's been a lot of things happening. The Super Bowl's coming up, trades, blockbuster trades. Celtics got back on what they supposed to be doing. And yeah, it's looking good. NBA's on fire. NFL, a lot happening. Boxing, a lot of happening. So we're gonna get into it, man. Next, first, I'm gonna just go into the Celtics. They beat the Cavs last night, 112-105. It was a good game. Celtics did what they were supposed to do, what I've been asking for them to do, and they got a win over the best team in the Eastern Conference record-wise. Cavs 40-10, Celtics now 36-15. They stand second place. First 12 points of the game, Jaylen Brown scored them. First 12 points for the Celtics. He was on fire. He finished with 16. And then the Celtics went up by 20. Yeah, they went up by 20 on the Cavs on the road in Cleveland. But the Cavs fought back as they, that's just how the game is designed. 24-second shot clock, so many touches, so many possessions. Donovan Mitchell did what he was supposed to do. He had 31 points. Darius Garland, 25. And before at halftime, they brought it into single digits. Jaylen Brown hit a buzzer beater going to half, and it was up by 10 again. But nonetheless, Jason Tatum, 22 points. Derek White came up big, as I've been asking him to do since last week. He's been a catch and shoot guy, just kind of, getting when he fits in. But against the Cavs, he stepped up. He hit some big threes. He hit some big ones, man. And he dribbled, pump fake dribble, got some mid range, forced the defense to collapse a little bit. He did some kickouts. He's what I was hoping he would do. Derek White, he was on one, and I'm happy he was. Al Horford had 13 and 10 off the bench. That's fantastic because Kristaps Porzingis, he was making some shots too. He was physical. He was aggressive. He got a block. He got dunked on by Donovan Mitchell early in the game, but that's what Donovan Mitchell does. Nonetheless, I think Al Horford getting 13 and 10 was the key part of all of this, uh, because off the bench, it's like the Cavs. What they have well is their front court, with Jared Allen. They have a all-star center, level center as well. And but shooting wise, they can't. It's a weird matchup for them with Porzingis and with Al Horford. They still some young guys that can move well, but I think Al Horford scoring 13 points and having 10 rebounds for a double double as well. The Celtics shot 17 for 48, 35% from deep. They didn't really get too hot, but it was kind of like a regular night for them. They shoot around the late 40s range at this point of the season. The beginning it was around 50. Now it's like around the 40s, but they hit 17 threes. Still impressive. Cavs only made 11 threes out of 39, 28%. I think that hurt them a little bit. But I like this game for many reasons because one, the Celtics were hot early in the game. They went up 20. They lost the lead. They never lost the lead, but the Cavs brought it down to single digits. But nonetheless, Derek White came up big. They got some stops. Drew Holiday, he scored. He got some stops too. And just what the Celtics do that make it tough for them to beat. You got Drew Holiday, you got Derek White, you got Jaylen Brown, you got Jason Tatum that could all switch out on the perimeter. I mean, shoot, Kristaps Porzingis, depending on the forward, if it's a small forward, I think Kristaps Porzingis can hold his own at some points. Not against guards, not against some quick guys. No, of course not. But I think what makes the Celtics really hard is they can switch out and they can really get going on defense. And that's what they did. They forced some turnovers, and it was just a good win because the atmosphere was playoff. That's what it felt like. The crowd was loud, every basket, all the way to the end of the fourth quarter, to the end of the game. The crowd was in it. And the Celtics came in that building and they got the win. And it's their fourth straight win. They beat the Bulls, they beat the Pelicans, 76ers, and now they have beaten the Cavs. It's not the first time this season they have. But coming off of, a scary point where they just wasn't making shots and they was in a shooting slump and they lost to the Thunder, they lost to the Grizzlies, they lost to the Raptors. But they got it now. They got it now. They hit four, they made four, and it's going to be interesting coming up because they have the Mavericks tomorrow. Then they got the Knicks in New York Saturday night. Hopefully, I can get a ticket and get to that game. I hope so. I really do. Then they got the Heat, and then they got the Spurs. So especially with All-Star weekend coming up, it's all gonna be interesting. Oh, and also today, not a big move, but Celtics trade Jaden Springer to the Rockets, for heavily protected second round picks, in a swap. So yeah, he didn't play. He didn't play much. Jaden Springer didn't, but it opens up some money for the Celtics, because I believe they're getting the tax, according to CBS Sports. They're getting a certain tax that's coming up, so it was a money move, but it didn't do much. But just thought I'd share it. Uh, this win over the Cavs, it just proves that they're still the team to be in the East. As simple as that. The Cavs still set first spot, Celtics number 2, and Knicks third. But a win like this has shown that the Celtics are still the team to beat. And you got to think, now with Porzingis in lineup, that starting five that's originally supposed to be in the lineup, they're looking scary. They're back to looking like the scary Celtics that we hoped they would be, and that they was in the beginning of the season too. But they just didn't have that same starting five. They haven't played much games together, but now it looks like they're getting that chemistry down, and not just offensively, defensively. They're getting it going. One thing I don't like to see is Peyton Pritchard, who's kind of been off and on now. I think his sixth man of the year candidacy has kind of gone down a little bit, just because with Porzingis back in the lineup, it's creating more. It's creating less shots for him. It's less shots for him. He's still shooting. He's still getting up threes. He's still having his nights, but it's at a less consistent clip, which for me that's fine. But and I'm sure for the team, because he's done whatever he needs to do for the team, and I think he will step up at certain points in this regular season and the playoffs. But nonetheless, for the Celtics, that win, I think it solidifies a lot, and I think anytime they're going to play the Cavs for the next year, 2, 3, it's going to be that atmosphere, because the Cavs are one of those teams. Now, don't get me wrong, I like the Knicks. The Knicks and the Celtics, that's going to be a really good game. They blew them out season opener. Best believe they didn't forget that. They didn't forget that. I still got the Celtics winning. I can see the Knicks getting their revenge game in, but I think the Celtics taking on the road, just how they just got on the road in Cleveland. But nonetheless, also Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, all stars. I'm not surprised. Jason Tatum's a starter. Jaylen Brown is a reserve. Shout out to them. Congrats to them. I would have liked. I think Derek White. He hasn't been playing All-Star level this season, as I said last week, but he's an All-Star caliber player. I just hope that it should have been another third player for the Celtics, but I get it. That goes to the number 1 seed. I'm not too mad at that. As far as snubs, a lot of people have been going at Trae Young for being snubbed. Not going at him, but he's not on the list. And I think that's unfair. That's the only snub I see on the East side. I think for the West, it's a bonus. But for the East, I think Trae Young definitely should be an All-Star one, because he's the number 1 guy in Atlanta. And the Hawks are no pushovers. I know the East, people say, oh, the East is whatever. Nah, he's the number 1 guy. He doesn't have DeJounte Murray no more. Not that he has scrubs with him. He has some young guys that can dunk it, posterize, block shots. He has some guys with him, but they're winning games. And he's a number 1. You can't take Trae Young off that All-Star list. But it is what it is. I think he should be a reserve if someone gets hurt and they're not playing. Trae Young. As far as LaMelo Ball, I love LaMelo Ball. I've been following him since he was in Lithuania. Then he did the league with his pops, and he went to high school Spire and did all that extra stuff, and played in Cali for the summer leagues before he got to the league. And I love his game. He's not All-Star this year. I mean, when he was All-Star, it was because he was reserved. I mean, like, he was like the fill-in for a guy who was hurt, and I think he's that caliber this year, because the Hornets are not good. You can't be an All-Star and not win games unless you're scoring about 30 a night. Then yeah, we got no choice but to make you All-Star. But that's not LaMelo. I love his game though. He can assist it, crazy passes, dime passes, drive to the basket, shoot it from deep, crazy, very good touch floater. I love his game. Doesn't play much defense, but when he does, he can. But purely just because he's like 6'9". It's not because he actually puts any hustle into his defense. Sometimes he will, maybe in the last 2 minutes, but he's not really that good of a defender. I like to see, and he gets hurt a lot. But nonetheless, I would like to see it. moving forward, I'd like to see Lamelo Ball as an all-star, and I think he will in the incoming years. I think he will. So that's that as far as snubs. Also, the Luka and Anthony Davis trade. I was here at home in my bed, about to go to sleep, and I was on my phone. I don't know what I was doing on my phone. Probably watching a YouTube video or something. And I saw it on Twitter, a trade of Anthony Davis, Luka Doncic. Now, obviously, when you see those trades on social media, you always are just immediately. It's just like it's fake. You know, they're always doing it for reactions, for comments, likes, interaction, reaction. So I always Google it just to make sure. And I Googled it and it was real. He was traded. Now, my first reaction to it when I saw it, I was like, why? For Anthony Davis, I was like, Anthony Davis for Luka Doncic. I'm like, there's something must have been more to it. And then I thought, if I was the Mavericks front office and Luka just brought me to the NBA Finals with Kyrie Irving and some good young guys in the front court, Keebler and all those guys, Jason Kidd. But he did complain to the refs a lot, which is why they found themselves down 3-0 in the finals. Didn't play defense. He comes into training camp out of shape. I didn't know that he comes into training camp out of shape, but I know he's not in the tip-top shape. And he's been playing pro ball since 14, 15. Whenever you see him on the sidelines, he got the ice on his knees, shoulders, all that. And he's a younger guy. Remember the video when he was back in the locker room in Finley? Somebody took a beer from him. I didn't think about the beer thing, but I did think about the complaining to refs, his performance in the NBA Finals, and those reasons why a team may not want to give him the max. But I also thought, so what? He's 25 years old and he just brought me to an NBA Finals. That is crazy. That is crazy. Since he's been in the league, he's won games. He's a winner. I don't care if you don't win a championship. Every year he gets on that court, he is going to average nearly a triple-double. He's going to score 30. He's going to get the game involved. He's not going to get blown out often unless he's playing a super team. So I don't know why that happened. And then, you go on ESPN, that's what they said. They just didn't feel like he took his body serious and he didn't take his health serious, and, doesn't play defense. And it's not like he, for the next 10 years, is he that guy? I think he is. But to send him to the Lakers and not tell the rest of the league is crazy, because you got him from Anthony Davis. Now, Anthony Davis, one of the best defenders in the league, if not the best defender. I think Wemby is probably in the lead for Defensive Player of the Year, in my opinion. Or it could be Anthony Davis. He's been playing great when he does play, but that's the problem. He doesn't play that much. He has this year, and Luka has only played like 26 games. So in a sense, I get it. You trade in a guy who doesn't play that much for another guy who doesn't play that much, who are really good, future Hall of Famers, both of those guys, and they make your team better in some ways. In some ways, they make them worse. But you got to tell the rest of the league, because the rest of the league would have gave anything for a superstar through trade. What? He's not even in his prime yet. And they traded him off. Is crazy. But what does that mean for the Mavs? Well, look, you got Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving. You got a decent front court. With now you got Anthony Davis in that front court, and he wants to play the 4. He said it when he was on the Lakers in Los Angeles this season. He wants to play the 4. He's gonna play the 4 because they already got guys at the 5 that are young, high flyers, can dunk it on you, do a lot. So now it does, in a sense, work out for Anthony Davis, I think. And, the Mavs, they've been having an season, but they're still in the race to be in the playoffs. They're a playoff team to me. Kyrie Irving's been in and out the lineup. I think they just got blown out Obviously, nobody was playing. But you got Klay Thompson, who's now not the same Klay Thompson he was on the Warriors. Now he goes into shooting slumps. Now he has troubles at times defending. He's not the same consistent guy he was, but he still has highlight moments where he can just drop 30 without dribbling the basketball. He can still defend well and make good stops. But he is an older guy now, and so is Anthony Davis, and so is Kyrie Irving. And those are your guys. Like, what's the window now if you're the Mavs? Because the window's now or next year, or maybe 2 years is stretching it. The window's now or next year, and you think you can win a championship with this team when I think they're the 10th seed or 11th seed right now, barely fighting for a play-in, which I don't even like the play-in idea. That's for another day, another episode. So yeah, I mean, for the Mavs, I get it in that sense, but you just got to keep him. You got to figure it out because you brought Porzingis in, didn't work out. You had Jalen Brunson, you traded him off to the Knicks, and he became who he is now, saying this is our guy right now, Luka Doncic. You had high picks. You traded him off because this guy is our guy, and before you got to pay him, and he's just like, nah, can't do it. You train him mid-season. It's interesting, man. Now, as far as Anthony Davis, I like Anthony Davis, but if I had to give him some some downsides, is he a winner? Luka's a winner. Was Anthony Davis a winner on the Pelicans before he met up with LeBron? And it was a bubble championship, which was a real championship, despite what some of my friends may say. I don't know. Is he a winner? Like, he won in Kentucky. He won a national championship. I'm a Kentucky fan, so shout out to him for that. But I don't know if he's a winner. Luka Doncic is a winner. Every year you are most likely going to go to the Western Conference Finals. If not, you're going to put up a fight in the first round, second round. I don't even think that's a question. He's dropping 40 before he gets off that court. He's not going down without a fight. So whatever. For the Mavs, you got better in a sense, but you also got very much worse offensively. And now you're looking at a Klay Thompson and a Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis, who knows when they're going to play because they've been having injuries because they've been in the league for so long. Nonetheless, to the Lakers, I like it. I get it. Their front court is trash now. They don't have nobody in the paint. But if they're able to make a move before Thursday, which is tomorrow, but if they're able to, I don't know who. I've been thinking all night who I've been thinking all day, who can they get in that front court that it just would make sense? It doesn't have to be a scorer. It doesn't have to be a shooting, a center that can stretch the floor out by shooting. It doesn't have to be. He just has to be good defensively. A shot blocker, a guy who can catch alley-oops because you have really good passers. And now you got Austin Reeves, LeBron, and Luka. It's crazy that I put Austin Reeves before Luka and LeBron. I mentioned them. But nonetheless, and Connect, I like him. He's good too. The backcourt is great. But the front court, and now the Lakers, who are 5th in the West, who've been doing good. Shout out to JJ Redick, one of my favorite players growing up. I think in a sense they got better, especially with a Luka who has a chip on his shoulder. The thing is, like, I do mention the front court, but the thing about those two players, man, they're gonna make it happen. When they're great, they're gonna make it happen. I think they're a threat for any team in the league. Any team, man. They blew out the Celtics. Of course, it was a road game. They had to travel across the country. They faced the Clippers before, but I'm not. I like the fact that he went to the Lakers is even more crazy. It's wild. But I think the Lakers are now a contender. I think they really are. I might be crazy for it. I think they need a trade in the front court. Someone doesn't have to be all-star caliber. Doesn't have to be. You just got to be solid defensively. They get that, they're a contender. They are a contender because the West isn't as strong as we thought it was. As we thought it was going to be, as it's typically been for the past couple of years. The Thunder, they're very good, young guys. Do I trust them per se in the playoffs, in the Western Conference Finals, and to finish things off in the finals? Do I trust them? I don't know if I do. I don't know if I definitely don't trust the Grizzlies. I don't trust the Rockets. They're good teams with young guys that play hard. in the playoffs is just different. It's more experience. The game slows down. It's not those high flying dunks or alley oops or the step back threes. Like the game is really slowing down. You're gonna have to score on really good defenders, and you're gonna have to defend them on the other end. You are going to have to defend them. There's no more your offensive upside's okay, that good, whatever. No, but I think the Lakers kind of they have two guys that are just the undeniables. There's a couple of undeniables in the league, you know. And what's happened a lot in the league too now is everyone's kind of debating like who's untouchable in this league. I still think there's a bunch of untouchable players. Everyone's going crazy about it. Wemby's untouchable. Shai Gilgeous is untouchable. Jason Tatum's untouchable. Jaylen Brown, I don't know, but Jason Tatum is untouchable. There's a couple of untouchable players in this league right now. Joker, untouchable. So let's not get the Luka thing is crazy, but let's slow it down on. Oh, we thought everyone's untouchable. It's not happening. I know KD right now is he didn't want to go to the Warriors. He might go to the Heat. Jimmy Butler going to whatever. I don't. There's still untouchables in this league. It's just changing. For all the older guys that's my age and we're getting older, there's untouchables still. But the guys who we thought was untouchable, as they get older, they're not untouchable. But there's still some. Uh, I spent too much time on that. Next, man, I'm gonna just start. I'm just make my Super Bowl prediction. I got the Eagles. Eagles this Sunday. They play the Chiefs. Chiefs about in contention to win their third straight. I think they're already a dynasty in my opinion. Don't care what anyone else says. Patty Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, second meeting in the Super Bowl. Enough of the Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. Enough of the Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. It is Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes. That's the rivalry. I do think they'll see each other at least one more time in their career. I do because I think Jalen Hurts is really that good. And of course, Patrick Mahomes is that good. He's probably the second best quarterback of all time. Nonetheless, I got the Eagles. I just like what the Eagles are able to do. The Chiefs have been the team that has won a lot of single digit games, one possession games. And although that's a good sign, I would be a little bit worried because now you're gonna play the game of who gets the ball last. And I think Jalen Hurts gets the ball last. I like Eagles defense more. I do. Saquon Barkley on offense as a running back, he's playing amazing. Shout out to the Giants fans. Sorry. But I got the Eagles. I'm gonna just say that. We'll see what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs won, but I got the Eagles. Next and last, we're gonna go to boxing. I'm a boxing fan. Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford, September, Vegas. We here. I will not be there. I hope I get tickets, but I probably won't be there. But we here though. I love this for many reasons, but Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford, two legends, two great boxers, on their way out of the door. It's not their last fight, but they're on their way out, and you love to just see a blockbuster fights. I think with the Floyd Mayweather era, we just didn't see too many blockbuster fights. I know my barber will kill me if you heard this, because I get it. He did fight, Floyd did fight De La Hoya. He fought Manny Pacquiao later, but it's like, no, this is when two guys are still in there. They're still at the top. They are still at the top. They're still being the most talked about, and I love this. Canelo Alvarez, he bounced in so many weight classes. It's hard to keep track. Terrence Crawford beat Errol Spence. His last fight wasn't impressive, but he won, and I think this is it. This is the fight. This is it. Tank, there's no more fights. Tank with Shakur Stevenson. Okay, I love Tank, but it's just like love Shakur is good too, but it's not the same right now as Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford. Shakur is like still, I think, a year or two away from his prime. That just speaks how good he is. But these are two guys in their prime, maybe on the last year of their prime, last leg of their prime. But this is it. There's no other fight that we care about. Not only when I say we, I mean us, culture. We can say the boxing world, of course, but we saying culture, like black people and Mexican people. We care about this. When it comes to boxing, it's us. It's us. It's black people, it's Mexican people. There's a bunch of others too who have great boxers. But when it comes to this is it. We hear like this. People who don't know boxers watching this. That's not even a question. Everybody living room going to be bootleg. That's just a fact. This is the truth of the matter. I'm not gonna get my predictions just yet, because I don't want to. Because I'm excited for it, and I'm gonna just keep dragging it out, keep paying attention to it, any updates, and we'll see if what the fights. Both these fighters are gonna have a fight before this. Matter of fact, Canelo Alvarez is talking about having a fight with Jake Paul in May. I hope that's not true, because if that's the case, then I think it's clear that that fight is just purely gonna be a setup, just like the Mike Tyson fight. Because I don't see Jake Paul. I don't see Jake Paul and Canelo Alvarez if really gone to what it's supposed to be. Like if Canelo Alvarez goes 100%, it's bad. Like I don't see it. So I think this is more of like a clear, like clearly this is a setup. This is a cash grab. But I hope not. Instead, I like to see, Canelo and Terrence Crawford fight real fighters leading up to this. Or if they don't want to fight at all, I would love it. That'd be more anticipation. I know this is going to be probably the biggest payday of both their careers. I know Canelo fighting Floyd might have been one of his, or maybe not. But I love it. I love it for the state of boxing. And shout out Clarissa Shields. Over the weekend, she had a great win, knockout in the final round. Not knocked down in the final round, excuse me. And one by shutout on the cards. One of, if not the best women boxer of all time. Shout out to her. But yes, man, that's it. That is it. Boxing, Super Bowl, NBA. It has been a ride. It's been great. You got to be. Shout out to WWE, the Royal Rumble. Shout out to Speed. Every sports, you can't be a sports fan I love right now. College basketball also has been great. St. John, what Rick Pitino's been able to do with that organized with that college program has been amazing. UConn's still in it. They've been struggling, but Houston, Auburn, Alabama, who would have thought they would be the top three? I mean, yeah, it's nuts. Syracuse, I've been watching it. Kentucky, Arkansas. Shout out to John Calipari, who went back to Kentucky and won in Arkansas, even though they've been struggling. I've been watching Rutgers, two guys, Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey. They're struggling. It's been a while, right? You gotta love sports right now, man. You got to. But yeah, I appreciate everybody who is tuned in. Please like, subscribe, share. Tune in next week. Tune into the vlogs that I've been doing. I'm still being consistent with it. Yesterday I did a bowling event tournament for the first time. It was a great time, better than I expected. Last week I did swimming. That was kind of rough. The swimming was kind of rough, but it is what it is. A lot of great athletes did that too. I'll be at Rutgers Sunday. Monmouth plays tomorrow. I think I'll just go if I have the time. But I'll be at Rutgers Sunday early afternoon before the Super Bowl. But yes, I appreciate y'all, man. Please tune in www.thebrownbostonian.com. Please tune in app.com. Any rap battles, any mixtape songs that I've put out, sketches. I appreciate it all. I appreciate all the support. Getting better at it. Still waiting to get an animation. I'm gonna work on that. But as you can see, I got a microphone, got some headphones, new laptop. Just working on it, being more consistent. So I appreciate all the support from everybody. And that's all I got. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.